Good evening. It's 6 o'clock, isn't it? So we better start the meeting. So good evening, and can I welcome you all to Colne Town Council's annual parish meeting. Those who are here in person, and those that are watching online. So do we have any apologies?
I've just got apologies from Councillor Lord.
Right. Yes,
And
Alice?
Councillor Moffat.
Councillor Moffat, right. So the third item is declaration of interest. Is there anyone that's got any declaration of interests on anything? No? The minutes of the meeting, those were held on the 21st of May 2024.
I know it's been a while, but I can say that these minutes were circulated via email just after the meeting, and nobody raised any issues. So
right. So can I have a proposer? Sarah, and second, I think it was Ian that put his hand up first. So all those in favour? Thank you. Item 5 is Colne Town Council to receive an update from the Town Clerk on the Town Council's activities in 2025-2026 and a summary of the Town Council's ambitions for the future. So I'll hand over to Gina.
Yeah, so this is actually a summary of last year, so it's 2024-25. You'll have to excuse me because I've just scribbled a load of notes down. Right, so in support of community groups, Colne Town Council actually gave 10 grants to community groups throughout the year. Grants were given to Colne Gala Committee and the Waterside Millennium Green Trust to help with the community events that were held. The Colne Citadel and Pendle District Angling Association received grants for building repairs and pathwork. Colne Junior Council received a grant for badges and bags and hats that they actually wanted for their trip to Parliament. That actually took place in June last year. And the weather was actually nice, wasn't it? Yeah, a really good day was had by all. The kids really enjoyed it, so that was a good thing to see. Alicia House also received a grant for gardening equipment and supplies, and Colne Football Club for new floodlights. We also gave grants to the Alkincoats Woodland Nature Reserve and the Gibb Hill Nature Reserve. Last year, the council also agreed to continue to fund the free swimming sessions for primary school children during the holidays. We saw during the last year, we have seen a big rise in antisocial behaviour, notable increase in damage and vandalism to benches, bus shelters, play equipment, bins, problems in the park. So we have had quite a lot. Obviously, the town council is a member of a land pack and will continue to work with the police and obviously charities like Colne Youth Action Group and Positive Action in the Community to try and limit this as much as we can. We did upgrade the CCTV camera system in the town centre, so that had a big upgrade. And we have now transferred the monitoring of that and the maintenance of the system to it's Blackburn with Darwin Council, and they have like a big CCTV hub in Blackburn. The councillors all went for a visit, and it was decided that a proactive package for the monitoring would be agreed. So that's like 24/7 monitoring and live feed and a link up with the police. We do actually get reports from Blackburn monthly to show what type of activities have been taking place and what kind of crimes that they've actually managed to report. Also, in an attempt to limit speeding in the area, the town council has deployed its speed indicator devices, more commonly known as SPIDs. So they're the boards that tell you how fast you're going with a smiley face or not, if the case may be. So they've been in various different locations throughout the area, so Colne, Falbridge, Bridge and Trawden. So the data that we have retrieved from them has been sent to the police, and it is also sent to the speed management team at Lancashire County Council. These have actually led to various different police operations that have actually met with some success, and hopefully we will continue to do that going forward. We've also continued with Treasure Our Town, which is obviously an initiative to help clean up areas in Colne, rectify any damaged fences, etc., or any issues that may need reporting to the relative authorities. We are continuing to do that. So it's once a month, just for 1 hour. We call it the Power Hour. So from April to, I think we ran it till November actually last year, didn't we? So a bit later. Yeah, so obviously we will continue to do that, and hopefully people will join us and get on board with the sessions. Obviously, because the more people are there, the more litter we can collect, and the more things we can do. The town council landsmen have been kept very busy with all the repairs, etc. So much so that the council actually invested in a new vehicle for them, which was a tipper van, which came in very handy actually with the Treasure Our Town to transport all the rubbish. The council has seen rising costs throughout the year. In particular, we had a 50% increase in utility, so that's gas and electric. We had a number of repair and maintenance works, including a roof repair to the annex, a corroded heating pipe, and, believe it or not, removal of a tree from the clock tower. We have actually opened 2 new savings accounts last year, or investment accounts, obviously to try and earn some interest back and try and make that money go a little bit further. So another thing we did is we relaunched the Colne Neighbourhood Plan. So that's the Neighbourhood Plan Advisory Committee. We had a launch event, and then we held our first committee meeting in July. We actually gained some new members for that this time. Always looking for people to join the group who have relevant things that they want to bring up. So the plan is to revise the current plan. We have had two main reasons why we need to do this. There has been a revision of the National Planning Policy Framework, and the most recent version of the Pendle Local Plan is about to go to examination as well. So that's 2 different elements that we need to align with. So the advisory committee are aware there's a lot of work to do, especially if we want to keep our town and protect it from unwanted development in green areas. So lastly, but not least, I can't finish without mentioning the events that the town council ran in 2024. In addition to the usual events, obviously you've got Easter in Colne, Halloween in Colne, Christmas in Colne, but we did have an extra in that we did have a Euros final. And we actually did a last minute fan zone, which was actually on the same day as our family fun day event. So in short amount of time, we did actually organise for a fan zone to take place actually in the park after the event. It was a very long day. We also did a tour of Colne, which was with Free Man of the Town, Jeff Cranby. That was in June. The video can actually be viewed on the Town Council's YouTube channel. We are actually doing another one of these. The first one that we did was more sort of the bottom end of town, but we are doing another tour of Colne. It's actually on the 1st of June, which is more so for the top end of town. Obviously, we will video that as well, and that will go again on our YouTube channel. Right, so I'm just going to show a video mashup of some of the events that we held. Obviously, there's one particular event that definitely wasn't on there, and that was the Blues Festival. It's the second year that we've worked with Colne Blues Society, and it was a very successful event. We obviously, it was a big year for the Blues Festival. It actually won the Best Bass Blues Festival in the UK award. So here's just a video from that event. One of the next 33rd Great British Rhythm and Blues Festival this year in Colne. Thousands of people visited the town to enjoy magnificent live music across three main venues: Pendleton Drill, the Exchange Project stage, and the Little Theatre and Kingston stage. On Friday night, very special tributes to legendary Beatles, with a series of really memorable performances, and they were headlined by Victor's daughter Kyle. 50 artists performing across the weekend, featuring so many wonderfully talented musicians. Wow. Really proud to welcome some amazing headliners to the town, including Don Martin, Carla Rose, after that, fantastic look at the main stage,
and we have one tremendous competition. Efficient range was also a huge success. The performance is taking place at 13 venues across the town. We encourage visitors to shop locally. We handed out over 100 posters to local businesses, and they all proudly displayed them in the shop windows. It was awesome to see local shops, hotels, restaurants, all packed on the weekend. We also had plenty of activities for all the family, with string entertainers, buskers, food vendors, and much more. Thank you, everyone, for your support, including, of course, our main sponsors, Barfield Construction. Without you and all our wonderful fans who are using us, we couldn't have done this. That one spectacular weekend. It's one for the one. It's certainly worth it from your mind. Thank you all again. I'll see you all in 2025.
Okay, so that's my roundup of 2024-25. With regards to future projects, there are some obviously projects that are in the pipeline. The councillors want to create a Colne archive. That's one project that we'll be looking at this year. The idea is that it won't be a permanent display, but we will at various different times of the year have different displays within the town hall that people can come and view. We've also got various different renovation projects. So there's number 2 Albert Road, which is one of the shops on the high street, actually needs an extension at the back and renovation work inside. We also want to do a flat conversion of the offices that are also along that side. So that is a project that we're looking at. Also a replacement of the town hall heating system, as it's very old and not very efficient. Obviously we have devolution, so that's one thing that you know we don't really know what may happen. It may be that certain assets of Colne will need saving, but I think collaborative working definitely, more so with Pendlebury Council and Lancashire County Council, and obviously the unitary when they come in, is very important, I think, so that we can stay ahead of everything that's going on. We have also talked about the local council award scheme and a corporate peer challenge, so they may be on the cards for next year as well. I don't know if anyone wants to add to that.
You had mentioned about the street signs, the idea of the history of the street signs.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'm working with Christine Bradley, and Gina has helped a great deal to provide a quote with the web developer for your website, where we could host an interactive map of all the streets in Colne. And Christine was the chief librarian at Colne, and even she is finding out loads of things, like why Casserly Road is called Casserly Road and which Mr. Harrison it was. We're finding out all of these things, and we're sort of creating a perfect dozen of different names. Some of them are famous people like Albert of Albert Road, but of course it wasn't always called Albert Road, so it's a bit of the history of the road. And we're going to go for a grant to the Heritage Lottery Fund to see if they will fund us putting QR codes in all of these roads, so that when people walk about, they can find out all about Tennyson or whoever it is, depending which road they're on. I think that would be a fun thing to do in this next year.
Okay. Yeah. Can we move on then to item 6, Pride of Colne Awards? This is a short presentation of awards to individuals who've made outstanding contributions to the borough. Before we present that, I'll just mention another person who will get this award, but he's not here tonight, and that's Jerry Stanforth. And Jerry was a founder member of Colne Connected with the Reverend Tony Rindle. And it was all about improving all aspects of Colne: economic, education, youth, community groups, all under one umbrella. And then I was elected to represent Pendle as a governor at Airedale General Hospital, which, as I know, is an enormous commitment, absolutely enormous, which Jerry did faithfully and competently. And he helped many people from Colne when they had issues concerning the hospital. And he never said he couldn't help, ever. Jerry also chaired Colne Community Safety Partnership, which he did so diligently for many, many years, always concerned about safety and crime in the areas of Colne. And Richard, he also, you might not know about all this that he did, because he didn't sort of flag up what he was doing. He also chaired the Richmond Hill Surgery Patient Participation Group at the practice, and chaired it again, particularly positively, for several years before and after COVID. And I also knew that Jerry was involved in the original neighbourhood plan, and with Legit and Beyond, he was very involved. And I spoke to him today, and he said, sadly, he couldn't come, but he said, just like Jerry, I don't need an award. I do this for Colne. I don't need it. You know, I'm happy to do it. I don't, you know, it's nothing I did. And I said, Jerry, it is. You have been in touch with all areas of Colne, so that's someone that we've got an award from. But the person we've got here is Gary. Gary from the Colne Gala Committee. Which I don't know. Do you want to say something about how long you've been involved, Gary, with this?
Yeah, so I've been involved in the Colne Gala 20 odd years. The reason why I joined was it went through a bit of a slow patch, missed for a few years, came back, there was no procession, which I thought was a bit of a shame, really. Given that me and a few friends from pubs had put floats in, so I banded together. I brought my sister in, my mother in, some friends, about as many friends as I could, turned up to the first committee. Donald Leader was there, and the rest of the committee had quit. They'd had enough. So it was kind of like starting from scratch. No idea what to do. But that was over 20 years ago. I'm glad to say we brought the procession back. That took some doing, because obviously the roads had changed. You got the Viri Way in place, so we couldn't get across to the park. The police were dead set against the procession, with all sorts of hoops to jump through just to get it up and running again. But I'm glad to say we did, because I think that's what really made the gala, the start of the procession. Really enjoyed my time doing this over the past 20 odd years. It's nothing better than seeing, you know, a free event in Colne being laid on with, you know, with all sorts of different acts, fairgrounds. Yeah, it's been a challenge. Financially, it's obviously been a challenge. Further down the years we go, big sponsors have dropped out, committee members have dropped out, and we ended up just 3 of us running it for the past few years. Which is where I think it just became a little bit too much for us to do. And we want to see it flourish. So this is why we approached Colne Town Council in the first place, to see if you could take it over and really give it a boost. And I'm glad to say that it is going forward.
And this is the first year, isn't it, that Colne's going to be doing it, Colne Town Council. And so we're hoping that it's brilliant, yeah, as you know, keeps it going. The Colne,
yeah, because we, as you know, we visit other galas as well with our Queen and Princess, and we've seen those disappear over the years. You know, Todmorden went down to one every 2 years. The Lancashire ones have died a death. Skipton's in trouble. We just see them; they're all dying out, and it's a real shame, because it's part of our heritage and legacy that we have these gala and carnivals. There's a lot of pride in the towns, and we need to keep them going.
But would you like to come out and receive this? Right. Next item is Colne community groups. We've got, I think it's Open Door was another group that we're going to give an award to, and we're very lucky in Colne that we've got lots of. We've got the Citadel, we've got Elisha House, we've got lots and lots of CAG. We've got all these organisations that are working for Colne, so it's good that we, make a point of noting them and thanking them for their work that they do in Colne. Okay. Item 8. Have we got any? We don't have any.
7.
Item
So-
7.
Yeah, I think CAG might want to report on what they've been up to.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Well, Stacey and I'll share a microphone. I'll do all the very quick, boring bit, which is how CAG was formed, because it's all linked, really, in essence, to something that Gina touched on, which initially was antisocial behaviour. After the first lockdown of COVID, I got lots and lots of calls. I just wasn't expecting everything from throwing dead rats from Colne Golf Course to uprooting trees planted for World War II veterans in Trawden. It was just so out of kilter, and I looked into it, and we'd lost our youth clubs in Colne. Sadly, Jim Smart had died, North Valley Community Centre, and it was just a series of unfortunate events. And after COVID, young people had lost their boundaries and sense of who they were, and everything had sort of gone to pot, and it was all awry. And so I thought, well, perhaps we could do a couple of after school clubs at Park High. And then I met a man from Burnley FC in the community, and he said, you need a building and a bus. Seemed a bit much, but kept writing to LCC, and after a long time got a really decayed building on North Valley that was all leaking and smelly, and then wrote to David Fishwick because we got a grant from Colne Town Council and put in for a swanky bus, and they wrote back and they said, you don't want one of those, you don't want a swanky bus because it would be constantly in the garage owing to emissions. You have to drive them every day, several times a day, and otherwise they're always in the garage. Let us look out for the kind of bus you need. So we got Kermit, who came from Age Concern in Bristol, and he may not be a swanky bus, but he's a very special bus to us. And Stacey, I'm sure she won't want me to mention it, but she got lost at Weekend Wanderers on Saturday, and rather like, are we nearly there yet? Apparently all the people that she was with were going, where's Kermit? It's like round the next corner. Kermit's round the next corner. So we hope, the police say that we have done an awful lot for antisocial behaviour, but I realised on starting the club that it's not only about that, it's about bringing different groups together, socialising, giving them the opportunity to do things they'd never think of doing. And to that end, we employed Stacey, who has taken the sort of idea of 2 after school clubs at Park High and a bit of football at Fishermore and moved it on.
Hi everybody, do I have to speak into this?
Yes,
Right,
a bit.
okay. I'll try. It's going to be hard because everybody's on the other side, but okay. Hi everybody, nice to meet you all. So yeah, thanks for giving us this opportunity to speak about where we're at with CAG. And as Sarah said, I was taken on 2 years ago, and when I started, we did just deliver 5 kind of core activities. They had myself full time and probably up to 10 volunteers who really were at the heart of that. And then sort of fast forward that to today, where we've got a weekly programme of 13 activities. We've got myself at full time, a part-time youth worker, and we've got up to 20 volunteers now. And without those volunteers, honestly, they are the glue that kind of holds us all together. They really, without them, we couldn't do everything that we do today. And across those activities, we are seeing an average of 300 attendances per month. So I suppose highlights from the past year, we were proud to be branded the best HAF provider in Pendle. Over the summer last year, we supported over 120 children per day, which meant that we were able to provide not just enriching activities, but really healthy and nutritious food to young people who were on free school meals, low-income families, that kind of thing. And what we found was that we then had a gap because whilst we had half programmes, we didn't have holiday programmes for our own members, and in the times where half didn't provide for some of those low-income families in different holidays. So we applied to the Police Crime Commissioner, and that's when we ran our own holiday club where we supported at least 30 young people a day, and those young people actively said regularly that without that, they would have just been dossing on the streets, which, so it is important that we did that. We also delivered detached youth work on Jim Smart Way, which was also funded, but an extra pot of funding from the Police Crime Commissioner, which is really fortunate for us. And that allowed us an opportunity to do some really important multi-agency working with the police and together housing as well. And we were working with at least 20 young people a day on that estate and their families as well. It wasn't just the young people, it was working with them too. And actually their antisocial behaviour decreased quite a lot. There were less incidents on the estate, and we have at least a 50% retention rate from that because they did join SEAG and they're now in our activities weekly. We had a cooking skills, we got social prescribing funding, so we provided cooking skills courses over 12 weeks to 30 young children, and that means that they've now got core life skills that they can take away from that. We had some really good feedback from that project as well, but that came out of the feedback from the young people. That's what they wanted, and that is very much about what SEAG's about. It's about delivering what the young people need in the area and what they're looking out for. The same with the hiking project, 17 young people each week turn up to that, building resilience, learning map reading, especially when I get them lost. Sometimes they get us lost and we have to find our way back to home, or Kermit, as it were. So we also took part in the Peace Walks, Colne Gala and Winter Bloom Festival, and the festival, The young people were involved in the planning of that, the designing of the project, proudly participating and deepening their connection to the community as well, because our young people often feel like disassociated from that. They don't fully feel embedded within it. So we also became one of 6 children's and young people's mental health hubs in Pendle, working in partnership with Lancashire Mind. Harmony, who is the children and young people's coordinator for Lancashire Mind, she comes in each week and does mental health and resilience workshops focusing around anxiety, social media pressures, those kinds of things. And she has that's the popular youth club, so it's alongside our youth club where we get over 40 attendees, but 10 to 15 of them will join her workshops, so they're getting really intense support. We launched our Sensational project, which is for young people who have special educational needs and disabilities, and what that's allowed for them is to build their independent skills and their social skills, so that some of those young people, actually the feedback has been that they've for the first time been able to become independent and move away from their parents, which has been really difficult previously, but the relationships that they've built with us and the peers in those sessions has really worked. And award-wise, we were awarded with a 5-star food hygiene rating, and we achieved the Bronze, Silver and Gold Recipe for Health Awards as part of the Lancashire County Council's initiative to promote nutritious and healthy foods. And really that was our volunteers that did that, the work that they put into cooking that food and working with the young people. It's so important. And we've developed a lot of our team as well, sort of volunteers doing community leader qualifications, first aid training, and we've got some of them going through level 2 and 3 youth work qualifications as well. So looking ahead, I say our vision is to keep growing, keep listening and keep delivering to our young people. We will looking at recruiting another youth worker so we can continue to sustain that work and expand our core activities. We've taken on a woodland site so that we can offer bushcraft and more forest school activities and all kinds of things. So we'll be developing that over the next year or so.
And we've got character.
Yeah, we've got a couple of forest school practitioners within the organisation, so that's really good. We're launching a partnership with Pendle Paddlers, which actually starts next week, and we're training both volunteers and young people aged 14 plus to become paddle sport instructors, so they'll have qualifications before they even leave school, and a possible career opportunity there. And we've started developing Sound House, which is one of our newest projects, offering high quality musical activities with professional equipment, and that is led by music professionals Chris Pearson and Jay Stanfield. and that is going really, really well, but it's at the start of its journey. So I think we're putting on a show in the next couple of months, and they're going to be, I think there's going to be a performance during the Peace Walks, which we'll be involved in later on in the year as well, and probably in the Pendle Schools Festival too. And then we are launching a new residential project. So we've just received funding to take the young people, 24 young people from impoverished backgrounds, to a once-in-a-lifetime kind of weekend retreat where they're going to be involved in outdoor nature stuff, sort of like building their confidence, resilience, and their memories really to last a lifetime. So, and that'll be delivered in partnership with Ruckow Retreat and the World Is. Don't know if anybody's ever heard of the World Is. Fabulous organisation. You go out doing all kinds of things, but yeah, sad thing. And finally, we're just going to continue to build and strengthen our partnerships, ensuring our young people can access a rich range of experiences, voices, and opportunities. Thank you. Sorry, went on for ages. Thank you. Sorry. Once you get me started, that's it.
Questions? Data?
Are you looking at all the next yesterday expanding? I know it's there, it's finished, given quite person.
Yeah.
Right, I think she's basically able to room to be able to increase that. That's
Do you mean geographically or just in numbers? Absolutely, without a doubt. Just the more work we do, sort of working with our community partners, and once we take on another youth worker as well, that will give us more capacity in terms of our staffing range and the volunteer. We want to increase our volunteer base as well. So the more that we can do with that, the more capacity we have in terms of our reach and broadening that scope, and bringing in more young people. We're just talking a lot about that kind of stuff, and bringing the schools in for workshops and things like that. Lots of different things and opportunities coming up. So yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm really impressed by the fact that the schools and the various sort of bodies, if you like, that you'd think would be closed professional bodies, whether they're social workers, police, LCC, family wellbeing people, they have embraced us. And, you know, if there was a recent absenteeism conference, and we were not only invited, we were asked to host it. But both Stacey and I are on the youth referral panel. So all of these things, whenever there's a problem in the town, and we're hoping to get involved in Alkin Coats, because we're putting in a land pack bid, and you very kindly offered to sort of help create match funding for us. Whenever there's a problem in the town, we can help. So Sue from Sainsbury's sent some pictures of some young people. I sent them to Stacey. Stacey knows who they are. You know, so dealing with the police, dealing with the schools, working together. That's how it should be, isn't it, really? Not Sainsbury's suffering alone or an old lady suffering alone. We're all working together.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you mentioned in paddle boarding and other activities. Obviously, you've got to have water. Yourself and your trainers have got to be water proficient. How many are you hoping to recruit, and how many are you hoping to train up? Because obviously, we have got some serious water around here, and we've heard of all the tragedies over the last few years. This is where I'm thinking about, obviously, health and safety and all this. How are you planning to do all this?
So in partnership with that, what it will mean is when we train our leaders, our volunteers, it will support Mike and Pendle paddlers to make sure he's got more adults on the water, because that's something that he's probably struggled with the most. So it means we can help him with recruiting for that. But that also means it benefits us with working with the young people and 14-year-old pluses and ensuring we can recruit them so that they can train to become. So they won't be able to train on the water alone independently. They will still need adults to help them do that, and they will support that process. And what we've never ever struggled with is recruiting people to go out on the water at all. We find it so exciting. And I suppose initially when they get on the water, it is a little bit of chaos because they're all excited and they all want to splash each other. But that soon calms down when they start to learn skills and do the skills building, and they settle down from their excitement. I can't foresee it being too difficult to recruit young people to the project. It'll be more seeing it through to its end and making sure that we get qualifications for these young people. So it'll be careful recruitment and matching people to the right groups and making sure that that is a positive success and that we can get as many through as we can. It's a fantastic opportunity.
The other one is, you've just mentioned twice qualifications. Who are you going to try and which body are you going to be in touch with in order to get the recognised qualifications? Because are you going down to the Sport England or you're going down a university type qualification? Both are recognised within the sport and in the industry, but I'm just wondering which way you are planning on going down.
Good question. So I'm going to say not university. I wish Mike was here because he has so much more knowledge than I do on this, and that's why we're partnering, because he has all that knowledge. I'm just a person really that provides for people. So I'll be like, here's a lot of people and he'll do all that. But from what I understand is that when the young people sign up to this, as they go through the qualifications, there's some small fees, so we'll need funding to pay for that. And they have to be a part of like an umbrella paddling association, if you will, and sign up to that as a member. And then the qualifications, they outsource sort of an instructor to help them go through that sort of process. So yeah, it's a process. I don't have all the answers, but yeah, no, but Mike definitely would. Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Anybody,
I think if I can just chip in a tiny bit as well, one of our other trustees, Anne McGladdery, is very big in terms of getting qualifications for young people. And the idea of doing things like NVQs in a variety of skills, she's very keen to say, if you're doing a skill like paddling, or you were doing bike maintenance or something like that, anything that you can label up as a qualification, there's something you can do. And our model, like you've touched on with the paddlers there, and the other things we've done like martial arts and music and things like that, is you're partnering with existing organisations around the Colne area, and you're saying, we'll buy some kit if you deal with our people. And you've got that partnership model where they get resources and they get support and they get. I mean, we did one at the dojo down on the way to Trawden, and we bought martial arts kit for them to be able to give young people the chance to try martial arts with no kit. They turn up, the kit's already there, they can wear the kit, they can try out on the mats and everything, and that resource is there for the martial arts place to use in perpetuity. And a few of our people carry on going, years down the line.
And it was the same at Primit. Weirdly, I couldn't believe this. Primit didn't play cricket. Primit didn't have any nets or any kit whatsoever. We bought the kit for them. Primit now has a club which is supported by us, and they won some kind of regional competition, which is amazing. Yeah. From not playing cricket at all to now being the regional people of cricket, which is marvellous. And I just would like to say that I learned loads that I didn't know about Jerry, Mary, and how wonderful Jerry is. He means a lot to us. He's one of our trustees at SEAG. And here's a fun fact about Jerry. In the 1950s, Jerry formed Colne's first youth club. He started it as a teenager, and it was in the parish rooms at St. Bart's, and he saved up some money and he founded the first youth club. So he's still involved today, and isn't that amazing? In his 80s, it's just phenomenal.
Does anybody have any other questions? Thank you. Very informative. Thank you very much. Okay. So there's no public people here, public forum for people to ask questions. So we'll go on to the time of the next regular meeting, which will be the sometime between March and June 2026. So